Is it going?
Yeah.
My quote is, "But I want to be Ali."
Oh.
Okay.
So this is like, isn't this when he's talking about the,
It's someone talking, by the way.
is it like it's either Johan or the coach
It's
talking about,
it's the other kid that he's fighting.
oh yeah, because he makes Johan's Ali and the other guy, the white guy that Ali knocked out. That was such a big deal in the States. That was a really big deal in our civil rights movement too. I thought it was interesting that it reached South Africa.
Even though they didn't know where America was.
Yeah, even though they had no idea
They didn't
who
know.
Muhammad Ali was, or
Do you think did they not know where America was because it was like banned, like they didn't government
they know
didn't
that-
tell people about them?
They know that it's overseas. They just don't know that. They don't know
Right.
where overseas and what.
These kids don't have great educations,
And
so
also, your parents don't have educations either.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
nobody
big one.
really knows anything about the world outside of where they live.
Yeah.
So
well, and it's kind of it's also sort of goes back to that that thing Ms. Sharp was talking about, how this time in history, a lot of other places are starting to starting to change and have movements for equality, and Muhammad Ali became sort of a big deal here because of that. But they've never even heard of America. South Africa is still so backwards and is getting worse.
But I think maybe this is so weird.
Do you want me to hold it for you?
Yeah, it's okay. I think maybe I don't even know if I'm doing it, but I think maybe that part of the they didn't know where America was, but that's probably the government probably really liked that they didn't know anything, that they didn't. It was probably actually on purpose that their education didn't teach about America, because if they learned, they would learn about the civil rights movement and how they were able to get their rights and how they would get inspired.
And then okay, never mind.
well, actually, the civil rights movement is going on at the moment because Martin Luther King died a few pages later.
Yeah.
And
They're
then-
right in the
learned
middle
his
of it.
death, at least.
It's late 60s, so they're right in the middle of the.
Right, and I think it's also it's that thing that is how Beek always said, the greatest weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. If they had known who MLK was, that's a big deal. And so I think that the fact that they didn't was whether or not it was on purpose by the South African government, it was definitely convenient.
They didn't necessarily know if in other places blacks had no rights too. So if the government kind of had that hidden, so maybe they thought other places didn't have rights like that, then it would be kind of more normal, and it would be a bigger deal for them to fight for their rights, because that'd be going against so much
yeah, and I'm sure.
in every country to them.
The main part for me was that it was these boys had never heard of someone touching a white man, and especially not even a black person knocking a white man out.
Right.
And these kids thought that Ali killed him, but he just knocked him out and won the fight.
But even that is a huge deal.
Yeah, for these black kids who don't realize
They've
that.
never seen white people except from
And to hear of them as gods, and to hear of one of them killing or knocking down one of these people is it's incredible.
Yeah.
They've never heard anything like that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And especially because they always see white people as authority figures. They're police usually, or they were the evangelists. They're never people that they're always afraid of them. And so the fact that Muhammad Ali, who was, if I'm remembering correctly, a lot smaller than the white guy.
Yeah, he was a very small.
Yeah, he's a really little
But he was
guy.
quick.
He's not exactly a little guy, he was just small.
But he's-
Smaller.
Yeah. The fact that he was able to knock out a white guy is
Who was much bigger.
I honestly think it's not about just the fact that he knocked out a white man. I think it's also the fact that they heard that basically I think none of them could imagine a white man competing with a black man in a sport, basically competing together, because they're so used to being separated from white people and they do everything apart from them. And that was rather than it being just the fact that he knocks them out or they think he killed it, more the fact that they're allowed to, or just it was probably pretty amazing to them that that black and white people were competing together in another country. And,
Yeah. It's like similar to like in the 1940s when Jesse Owens was
Yeah.
in the
Right.
Olympics in Berlin,
And it was like-
he won his competition and beat out the
And Hitler
theories that
wouldn't come up and give him
I kind of wonder what they like think of America, like from, because this is like the only thing they've ever heard about it, you know?
It's or actually, no, I'm not gonna say that because that's gonna give something away. Never mind. I read the back of the book. Don't read the back of the book. It's bad.
like the thing you guys said about the government not wanting them to learn more about America, like, didn't America want to help them with their civil rights movement?
Yeah, I mean, yes
wanted
and
to
no.
guide their apartheid.
America, like, we were sort of, I don't really know, but I think that we were kind of hypocritical about it. We were like, yes, we want to support you, but we're still going to buy diamonds and gold from the white people and therefore keep you in economic slavery.
It was probably later, because this is the 60s.
This is the 60s.
It was the 80s or something
Yeah,
later.
so America basically,
After their
sold,
civil rights.
Yeah, America sold South Africa like weapons and stuff
Yeah.
through the 70s.
But, I mean, America sold like Pakistanis and Afghanis weapons to fight their battles against the Soviets,
Yeah.
and now we're in a war with them with
Yeah, there's
weapons that we gave them.
There's
Yeah.
the old receipt, like we know, there's the old joke, you know, we know they have nuclear weapons because we have the receipt.
Yeah.
Should we move on to a different quote?
Sure. Do you wanna? So this is the one that CJ responded to on mine. They molded my thoughts and feelings and made me dream. My interest in learning increased. I no longer spent all my time playing soccer or fighting in gangs or hunting for money or going to the bioscope. It is 171.
Was that him talking about school, or
Okay, I respond. Or is it?
yeah, or no? Yeah, or no? No, you're not. You can't.
He's not. He's talking about.
I can still respond to it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
You just tell us the context and we
Yeah, so
can.
basically the context, this was when his grandmother was bringing home books from the white family that she was with.
Oh, the Smiths.
Yeah.
The nice white
name.
people.
What a name. White name.
That is such a unique name.
Yeah.
And
I remember like the grandma was talking. She liked comics, I think, and the Smiths were actually one of the families that were considered one of the nicer white families.
Yeah.
Like helped her out and was kind to her and didn't treat her as much of a slave. And they gave her presents like these books on their kids, I believe. Yeah, and which she brought home to her grandchildren. And, yeah.
Yeah. I remember. Alright, cool, thanks. I remember when he told the school when he was in school and he was telling the story about like the story from his storybooks that they were very suspicious of how he got the books and how he learned the story. And when he told them that his grandmother got them from the white people, everybody was in like such disbelief that they just assumed that she stole them. And he said, no, they were nice white people, and everybody laughed. And it was kind of weird because even like the only experience that they've had with white people is just the white people being like police and coming in and beating everyone, or like the superintendent who's awful and never does anything to help them. So they just think that all white people are awful. So it's kind of weird because they have no idea that there are such things as nice white
And
people.
they like assume that she stole them. And like I remember in the article we were reading for Sharp, it was like it was a white family talking, but they were saying how if like a black man went into the bank and to put in like $1,000 or something,
They'd arrest him because they thought he stole
the money, even though like he might have earned it and stuff like that. So you can
Yeah, well, and then, like, do you guys think? I mean, I know it's not at all comparable to apartheid South Africa, but like, just there's some things kind of familiar about like the whole like them giving their mates their old stuff and everything, like, and the whole like idea that they would assume me stealing it. Like, do you think that we have that sort of dynamic here with Latin immigrants?
Well, I don't think it's not even Latin immigrants, but kind of all minorities.
All minorities, period.
Anyone who has
Like if you
that kind of job, like
Or
and
expected
if
to
someone's
have
gonna
less
come to
than
mess with me, you kind of like put away like valuables.
like you'd be more
It's
careful.
just like you're
Yeah.
used to that.